So, we're taking this special day to have a special bell schedule, a special assembly, so that we get a chance to see this solar eclipse. Why is this such a big deal?
I mean, this is an extremely big deal because we're not going to get another solar eclipse in North America for 20 more years. And not to mention, the next time that we even get a solar eclipse anywhere near the Chicagoland area, that's going to be in the next maybe 75 years. So this is kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal. We did have one just like, what, 5.5 years ago. It was 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2017, I guess we had an eclipse, except this is a different eclipse. This eclipse is going to be twice as long as the one in 2017 for totality. In totality in 2017 was about 2 minutes, and this one's going to be 4.5 minutes long. And then for other things like the moon is actually going to be bigger, all right, because of the moon is physically going to be closer to Earth of where it's orbiting at. Then and then let me see. Oh, and the sun is actually at its peak of its solar activity. So the solar flares and everything and the corona is going to be much stronger than normal. So this is going to be a pretty big eclipse. Oh, and it's going to travel through more major cities than in 2017. It's going to pass through San Antonio. It's going to pass through Dallas, Little Rock, Indianapolis, Buffalo, New York, Calgary. So
Indianapolis.
Yeah, this is a big deal.
Right? So
this is the Great North American Eclipse.
The Great North American Eclipse.
The
eclipse to eclipse all eclipses.
Eclipse all eclipses. Yeah, that's about right.
When you wake up in the morning and the light has hurt your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed is hit that streets a running and try to beat the masses. And go get yourself some cheap sunglasses.
So we really need these safety glasses because we're going to be looking straight at the sun, and even though the moon is in the way, there's still a lot of light coming through, a lot of UV light that could damage our retinas coming through that we don't want to have hurt us. So we're going to wear these special glasses to watch the event. Now, what we need to do is walk out there to our spot that's designated for our team. We're going to stop, put our glasses on, watch the event, and we're going to stand still the entire time because I can't see where I'm going.
I can't see anything now.
I can't see anything.
No.
And then when the event is completely over, then we'll take the glasses off.
You might be asking, like, what's so special about these glasses and why can't I just wear my regular sunglasses? These sunglasses are really different from these sunglasses. So the sunglasses that we're providing for you are actually designed for a solar eclipse. They filter out 100% of UV light, infrared light, and almost all visible light. So it's going to allow you to look directly at the sun without damaging your eyes because there is a thin layer of cells in the back of your eyeball that is called a retina. And that retina contains these things that are called rods and cones. And if you look directly at the sun, the UV light can actually burn and cause like a chemical reaction that is going to totally mess up those cones and rods. And sometimes that can lead to permanent or temporary, but scary when it's permanent, vision damage. And you don't actually have pain receptors in your retina for those cones and rods. So you could be looking directly at the sun and just burning your cones and rods and not even know it until you start losing your vision. Seems kind of serious.
It does. So, what are we going to expect to see when we're out there?
Well, through the glasses, when you're looking, what you're going to see is like, first, as the moon moves in front of the sun, it's going to make the sun start looking like a crescent shape. And then as the moon continues to move in front of the sun, the edges of light from the sun will make its way around the edges of the moon, and you see like these little ring of beads on the outside of the moon's shadow, and this is called Bailey's beads. And then lastly, what we might see is it'll almost look like a diamond ring, where you have the peaks and the valleys of the moon, and that's the last part to allow any light to escape through. So it looks like a little ring with a diamond on top. And I mean, we won't see the moon completely blocking the sun because we're in Chicagoland, and we're only going to have like 94% totality, which is still extremely high. But like down in Indianapolis, it'll be utterly and completely covered.
I remember last time we did this, one thing I noticed just looking around, because I didn't have the glasses back then, looking around though, it was strange because it felt like the sun was setting, but the sun was setting straight up above me. And then it got dark. You could hear some of the birds quiet down. It got cooler. A lot of weird effects there on the ground. And when we looked through the sunlight going through the trees, you could see little pinpoints of light coming through the leaves in the trees because it was summer at the time. And each little pinpoint of light looked like a little picture of the eclipse.
That's really awesome. And this is a really cool experience that basically millions of people across North America will be sharing together.
Now, I have prescription glasses, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I still want to be able to see clearly what's going on. We can wear those right over top. My prescription glasses aren't going to protect me from the solar eclipse, but I could put the solar eclipse glasses on top of my regular glasses.
All right.
What do you think?
Yeah, we did a good job explaining that.
We did. We did.
High
High
five. Oh, yeah, we can't see anything.
No.
Please take note of the diagram of where your team will be located for the solar eclipse viewing. 6 West will be across the street from Our Lady of Wayside. 6 East will be along Park Street. 8 East will be along the sidewalk of Park Street and the southeast sidewalk of the building. ILP groups will be on the sidewalk in front of the building outside the main entrance. 7 West will be on the southwestern portion of the track. 7 East will be on the northern part of the track. 8 West will be on the eastern side of the track and the sidewalk along where the buses line up. People with mobility concerns will have a good view along the sidewalk outside the south doors towards Park Street. Due to recent rains, your teachers will evaluate if you should stay on hard surfaces or can spread out onto the grass. Remember to stay with your home base for the duration of the eclipse viewing.
What we witnessed today is a solar eclipse. In a solar eclipse, the path of the moon moves right in front of the Earth. As it passes in front of the Earth, between the Earth and the Sun, it casts a shadow across the surface of the Earth. We were inside that shadow and saw the Sun get blocked out by the moon.
Notice that the shadow of the moon only covers some parts of the Earth. Therefore, not everybody on Earth was able to see the solar eclipse. Only people in North America. Therefore, it is the Great North American Eclipse.
Solar eclipses can only happen during a new moon and during the daytime.
Let's do a demonstration to simulate what you saw outside. Hold up your fist so it's covering part of the left side of the screen. Now, slowly move your fist towards the right. Pause when it covers up the sun. This is what you saw outside. Your fist represents the moon, and you're viewing it as somebody on Earth. Now continue to move your fist to the right off of the sun, and this is where it became sunny again outside when the solar eclipse was over.
So basically, we have the moon just coming and photobombing the sun, like right there in front of it, like, hello, I'm the moon.
Yeah, moon's pretty egocentric like that,
Yeah.
photobombing the sun. Even before you were outside, the moon was slowly moving in front of the sun. Remember, because the moon is so much closer to us than the sun, it's able to actually cover up the entire sun. When the sun gets covered up, it's like having a sunset in the middle of the day. That's why it got dark. Eventually, the moon began moving off of the sun and it was like a sunrise in the middle of the day. Obviously, this isn't drawn to scale, but as you can see, the shadow of the moon passed right over the school when you were viewing the solar eclipse.
Now, we also have the lunar eclipses that happen occasionally. Have you ever gotten to witness one
I've
of
seen
those?
some lunar eclipses. I feel like they're making a way bigger deal about the solar eclipse and lunar eclipses.
There's a reason for that, really, because when you look at a lunar eclipse, what ends up happening is that the shadow of the Earth is what the moon is passing through in a lunar eclipse, and that the shadow of the Earth is so much bigger than the shadow of the moon that everybody experiences it, and it's very common for the moon to pass through the shadow of the Earth rather than the Earth passing through the shadow of the moon, which is a much smaller target. And so we end up having the lunar eclipses being much more common. The other thing about lunar eclipses is they happen late at night. If you're not willing to sit up and stay up all night and watch one, there's not much to see.
Not as dramatic.
Not as dramatic.
Okay.
I have done it. I've stayed up and watched one through the entire lunar eclipse once when I was younger. Was worth doing once.
Okay.
A lunar eclipse happens at night. It happens during a full moon. During that process, the moon moves through the shadow of the Earth. As it passes through the shadow, it blackens out the view of the moon.
Anyone on the side of the Earth facing away from the sun, experiencing nighttime and can see the moon, will be able to see a lunar eclipse, which is different because a solar eclipse can only be viewed by people who fall in the shadow of the moon. What are you still doing here?
Go play the GIMP kit.
Yeah, get out of here.